Welcome to the Explainer. All right, let's talk about Ethereum. It has taken a massive hit lately, and the question on absolutely everyone's mind is this a full-blown crash, or is it one of those rare buying opportunities? Today, we're going to break down what Wall Street strategist Tom Lee thinks, and, well, his take is surprisingly optimistic.
So, this is the exact dilemma every investor is facing right now. I mean, after a drop this sharp, it's totally natural to feel a little nervous. But the real question is that feeling a warning sign telling you to run, or is it actually hiding a huge setup for the next big move up?
And this is the call from Tom Lee that's making waves. It's a pretty gutsy, contrarian take, especially when there's so much fear in the market. So, what in the world is he seeing that maybe the rest of us are missing? Let's dive in and unpack this. To really get where he's coming from, we can't just stare at the price chart. Nope. Lee is looking way deeper at a specific metric that he says has historically been a dead giveaway for when the selling is just about done and a real floor is about to form.
See, Lee's not just going with his gut here. His whole argument is built on this one metric, the value locked to price ratio. Now, that sounds complicated, but it's really just comparing all the assets locked up in DeFi on Ethereum to the actual price of ETH. And what his research shows is that when this ratio hits a certain low point, a market bottom isn't just possible, it's actually probable.
But it's not just that one metric. Lee builds his case on top of what he calls two structural floors. You can think of these like two giant pillars holding up Ethereum's value, no matter what kind of crazy noise is happening in the market day to day. And here they are, laid out side by side. The first pillar is all about the network's internal strength. The massive and growing amount of assets locked on Ethereum acts like a fundamental safety net. The second pillar is a classic value argument. Just look at Ethereum compared to Bitcoin. Based on historical trends, ETH looks pretty undervalued right now, which suggests it has a lot more room to run. And if those two pillars weren't enough, Lee also points to these huge macro trends that are acting like tailwinds. You've got the tokenization of real-world assets picking up steam, big institutions getting more and more interested, and a ton of ETH being staked, which takes it out of circulation. All of this just adds fuel to the bullish fire. Okay, with all this good news, you're probably thinking, great, the path is clear, a rally must be guaranteed from here, right? Well, not so fast. Lee is really clear on this point. Even with a fantastic setup, volatility is still the name of the game. This market is unpredictable, and just because you're bullish long-term doesn't mean you can ignore the short-term risks. So, being cautious is still absolutely crucial. Now, we have to be fair and look at the other side of the coin, the bear case. Because for every reason to be optimistic, there's a potential risk lurking. And believe me, the stakes are incredibly high. This chart just lays it out in black and white. We're looking at two very, very different outcomes. If the bulls are right and this bottom holds, the next leg up could be aiming for $10,000 or even higher. But if the market stays weak, we could easily see a much deeper drop, maybe testing support all the way down around 2,900. So instead of just flipping a coin and guessing which path we're on, Tom Lee gives us some specific signals to watch. This is how you can actually track what's happening in real time to see which one of these scenarios is playing out.
Think of this as your personal dashboard. 4 key things to keep an eye on. Number 1, are the heat of accumulation wallets, the smart money, still buying? 2, what are the whales doing? Are the big holders selling or stacking? 3, how's that ETH to Bitcoin ratio looking? Is it getting stronger? And finally, number 4, what's up with macro liquidity? Is there easy money flowing through the system or is it tightening up? Watching these 4 things will give you a way better picture than just looking at the price.
So when you boil it all down, the main takeaway from Tom Lee is this. How you see this market, as a crash or an opportunity, it all depends on your time horizon. He's definitely leaning towards opportunity, but he warns everyone, this is not a short-term game. The ride is going to be bumpy, and you have to be ready for either outcome.
So, there you have it, the bull case, the bear case, and the exact checklist the pros are watching. Now the question is for you. As you put all this together, which of these signals are you going to be watching to make your own call on where Ethereum goes next?